1420 Sports Podcast, four beer to sports talk and a whole lot more. Show 164, December 27th, 2021. Fresh off a Christmas break day. We haven't spoken, the odd text message back and forth. We haven't spoken since last Monday. Had a little debacle there with the audio and everything else, but turned out all right. Jim, the sound guy, got it out there. We got through our Christmas holidays in one piece. Dave, how was your Christmas, my friend?
Christmas was wonderful. I had a great couple of days with my family, specifically my wife's family. My mom's away. She comes back tomorrow, so we're gonna do the one of those post-Christmas things on a Wednesday night. So that'll be like quick and painless. But it was nice. I felt really good for my in-laws because they had every single one of their grandkids was in our house on Christmas Day. And so just I get along very well with them both, and I'm quite affectionate towards my grandfather. Sorry, my grandfather, my father-in-law. And he just had he had a couple in him, and he wasn't over the top. He wasn't hammered, don't get me wrong. But just looking at him, looking at his grandkids and
Smiling ear to ear, making new memories, everything else.
Oh, right? You bet. He soaked every second of that in, and that was more special to me watching him appreciate his grandkids, as opposed to me saying, fuck, I gotta clean this mess up when everybody's gone.
There you go. No, I was out in Medicine Hat with the producer's family. We had a nice time. It was quite relaxing. Watched some football. Had some very, very good meals. Her mom went above and beyond cooking the entire time. She didn't have time to sit down. She had made 3 great meals and snacks and everything else. We were well fed and well watered. Anyways, mom, she's still out in Vancouver Island. They got hit with a ton of snow out there on.
My mother's out there in Abbotsford right now too.
Yeah, they got a ton of snow, so they went tobogganing on Boxing Day yesterday. My brother and the sister and the family and Jim, the sound guy, they were all having a great time. Minus 11 out there today. I talked to mom. It's unheard of out there to be that cold. Elaine said that they've never been that cold in the 20 years that they've been out there. And I said, well, it's minus 28 here. She goes, well, it's the same feeling, I guess. Anyways, Dave, we won't talk about the weather and everything else from Christmas too much. But Dave, I'm down at the tavern tonight. I got myself, tonight's actually unofficially sponsored by Fernie Brew Co. I put it up on the Twitter account earlier on, the unofficial sponsor, West Coast Pale Camp Out Beer. Quite tasty, quite enjoy it. I got myself a 6-pack of these. If you get a chance to get some, I strongly suggest that you do. What are you throwing down the gullet tonight, my friend?
I have Phillips Green Reaper, just the mix pack that I buy at where I buy my growlers on occasion. It's nice. It's a good IPA. It's nice and it's a nice strong IPA, and yeah, I'm gonna enjoy that. Then I'm gonna switch to the King.
There you go, the King of Beers. I got a couple BLs in the fridge just in case I run out of these Fernie Brew Co's. I didn't get as watered as I usually do at Christmas. I might have to get a little bit into her tonight. But Dave, we're going to talk a little bit of NFL as we usually do this time of the year, getting close to playoffs. The World Juniors started off yesterday. Then we had got some Hall of Fame debates, some stuff that I heard over the weekend that made a lot of sense to me. And then a would you rather. Ready to get into her?
Whenever you are, man. Let's dig in.
First game I watched over the weekend on, I can't remember what day it was. It was Christmas or Box. It doesn't matter, but it was.
There was games on Saturday, which was Christmas Day. Yeah. And there was the full slate on
the Thursday night game on. That's the first one I watched. It's the Thursday night game at Deanne's parents' place. Was the San Francisco 49ers against the Tennessee Titans. A game that the Niners should have been up 21-0 in the first quarter. Didn't, came back to haunt them. They don't lose. And Jimmy Gorgeous, he went down with an injury. He was looking at all the mediocre quarterback that I think we know that he is now. Geez, man, when you got a chance to put your foot on someone's throat like the Niners did in the first quarter, and like the first 9 minutes, incomplete passes, interceptions, when they could have just ran the ball. I don't understand. We'll get into this a little bit on this segment, but then I watched the game, the Browns and the Packers, and why they weren't running the ball with under 2 minutes left. They're in field goal position. They were pounding the ball down the Packers defense's throat. And then you have a quarterback in Baker Mayfield who's just not very good. And he had him, they passed 3 times. got out of field goal position, and it losing the game 24-22. It made no sense to me, Dave. We said this before in the show, and I'll say it again. The two of us have never played a game of football in our lives. We have limited knowledge compared to what most of our listeners do, but we just know what's right and wrong and how to get a game going. I could not believe when I was watching it more so in that Browns Packers game that like why weren't they just running the ball, put it in a field goal position, win the game, done, problem solved.
That's yes, 100% in that Browns Packers game, because Baker Mayfield was airmailing passes. He had no control. It was obvious. Like it was missed throws that were resulting in interceptions. And
I think three first half interceptions. Yeah.
Oh, it was gross. And it wasn't, they were bad interceptions. Like this is just like you threw that ball wrong. And and we can make excuses and what have you, but he's the man in the game. If you're the pitcher in the game and you give up a home run, that's your home run. That's your interception. That's your bad ball. And so he owns up to it, but you know what? Now your team controlled its destiny. Now your team does not control its destiny. And for a coach to not have the in-game management to say, like, Christ, we can't put this game in Baker's hand right now. He's terrible. He's terrible at this juncture of this game and tonight. He's terrible. Well, he's not going to throw 4. He's thrown 3 already. Let's.
And the thing is, in spite of Mayfield's shortcomings throughout that game, they were still within 2 points at the end of it, and they had every chance to win that football game against arguably the best quarterback in football, Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers wasn't good enough. He's playing on that quasi-injured toe or whatever it is. But Mayfield isn't very good, and he wants big dough and everything else. And in spite of what was going on, Green Bay's arguably the best, not just only the best quarterback, they might be the best team in the NFL right now. And they had a chance to win that game. Like they had more than a chance to win that game. They probably should have won that game.
And that's the thing I noticed in NFL football all the time. When you have a chance to win the game, you must, that's the thing that makes perennial winners, perennial playoff teams, and the ones that don't. Like when you have that chance to close the game, when you have that chance to run out the clock, when you just know how to win. Like there's a different style of football to play at different times of the game. Like if you're up 21-3 in the first quarter, you go for 28-3. You don't kick that field goal.
Well, who was it? Cincinnati yesterday, they ran the score up against Baltimore, and Joe Burrow, he didn't hold back. He said, when you keep going, he said, this isn't Pee Wee football. When you keep going, you can embarrass their team, you just go for it. And I agree with that wholeheartedly.
100%.
I don't agree with it in the minor league, like you say the minors, I guess, or amateur sport, I guess is a better way of putting it. But when you get with the big boys, you make a statement now, because you know what, you might not get that chance ever again, and you'll remember that forever. And it's we got you, we got you. Is it bulletin board material later on? Who knows? But you'll always have that one step ahead of that team that you blew out one time.
We're all professionals here. We're all getting paid to do something. If you don't want us to do this, do something about it. At the pro game, fuck you. Like, I don't care. I have no sympathy for blowouts.
Yeah, like, it's my job.
And that was a pass. That wasn't like a fake punt or anything like that. It's a play we're running. This is a play we're running with 3 minutes on the clock.
Yeah.
If you don't want it to happen, do something about it.
That wasn't an onside kick or anything to run the score.
No, it wasn't a trick play. It wasn't.
We're just playing the game how we play the game. It's not nothing drawn up to embarrass anybody. Be better. You be better on your side of the ball. Pretty simple. Mm-hmm. No, I think that's just the way things should go. And NFL football, to me, Dave, it's so frustrating because these guys have been playing this game for a long, long time. How in the fuck there's holding as much as there is? I get it. Guys are going by, you grab it, everything else. But the amount of penalties that I watched, because I watched a lot with the producer's dad and her brother, more so than I usually do on a weekend. The amount of penalties that there are on a game-to-game basis, to me, is astonishing.
It is astonishing. And I do believe that the NFL could be the hardest game to officiate. You can throw a flag on every play, and it just depends on who sees what they're gonna allow someone to get away with. Like these holding behind the line of scrimmage, behind the contact on field. There's penalties missed all the time. Um, uh, so with these referees throwing flags all the time, it's so frustrating as a fan. I can only imagine what the players and the coaches feel. Because you could throw a flag
Every play.
every play, and I'm glad to see that they're allowed that like this hand fighting with receivers and DBs. I'm glad to see they're allowing that to go a little bit more than they used to, but it's because once that ball's in the air, as long as there's not pushing and fighting, like that's like that's like 500 back as a kid.
Oh yeah,
When
I
that
remember that.
ball's when that ball is in the air, it's a 50-50 ball. It's like a rebound in basketball. Anyone should be able to do anything to grab it.
But Dave, there, like, I don't know the rules well enough to make a judgment, but I'm going to make a statement because it's our podcast. That's what we do, is make statements. Otherwise, it'd be dead air. But there was a couple plays in that Packers Browns game where I can't remember the player's name. It doesn't matter. He didn't turn back once and look where the ball was. The defensive back, the ball was, and he was just all over the receiver. And I always thought that it was, you have to make a
Turn your head.
turn your head, look at the ball, see where it's coming. He was just blanketing the receiver, and there was no flag. And there's such a discrepancy in what's called and what's not called that maybe the players don't know what's right and wrong to an extent. You know what I like? You should know the rules, obviously, but maybe they don't know what the rules are because it's getting called so inconsistently as well.
That's not impossible, but I would disagree with that. I think some of these DBs are in over your head like that. That's the hardest job in professional sports. I think a defensive back is the hardest job in professional sports.
Well, they don't even know how to catch. They can just knock things down.
Well, yeah, but the receivers are like 6'1" to 6'3", and they know what they're gonna do. And
yeah, why are defensive backs always so short? It seems
because they have to be quick. Because they have to be quick. They have to have the wheels. They're like so they can jam them at the line, but after 5 yards, they're not allowed to touch them. And how the fuck do you keep up with someone who knows what route he's gonna read?
Yeah.
Right? Like a perfectly thrown ball is impossible to defend.
Would it not be a wise decision to have a guy on both sides of the ball in that position?
Like a receiver, like playing, but then you'd be tired, no?
How tired can you be? Half the time they're doing running plays anyways. I'm just throwing that out there. Like I've never.
It's not impossible. The Patriots did it, and you know what? Maybe this one might be the Yoshi Otani of the NFL. Lead the league in receptions
and interceptions.
And interceptions in the
because Sanders did for a while. That he was on both sides of the ball. Deion Sanders did that for a while, but no, he wasn't great at it. He was a good athlete. He wasn't very good at everything he did. Sanders gets a free pass because he was that two-sport athlete who was good enough at everything, but not great at anything, in my opinion.
Well, he was a great defender of the pass.
Yeah. He didn't know how to, he didn't, and he's a guy, like I'm saying, he didn't have to know how to catch.
No, but he was a punt returner extraordinaire as well. He was a special teams player.
No Gizmo Williams, but whatever.
Yeah. My crank on Deion Sanders was he didn't know how to tackle. He did not like to get hit.
No.
He hung on to a leg and dragged him down. He never initiated contact. Wasn't his game, but when he was kind of one of the original shutdown corners, he was so good, so fast.
Yeah, it's the game's just. I think the game's a lot different now than it was when Sanders was playing. The rules are just so up in the air, and there's so many new guys all the time, and I don't know. It's just such a high turnover sport that these guys are doing. They're learning on the fly as well, I think.
Well, and also too, when we think back, Deion Sanders is only the second best Sanders to play in that generation, right?
Yeah. Barry
Uh,
was
Barry
really
was
quite good.
he was so good. He was such a joy to watch. That was like a pinball. He
Dave,
was like,
we got the college
and
football.
not
Sorry,
Clemens. Sorry,
pinball Clemens.
yeah, yeah.
Who was
And,
better, pinball? Who was better? Well, before segue into later on, who was better, pinball Clemens or Gizmo Williams?
I'm gonna put Gizmo Williams because he was a
Gizmo was
fun.
really good. He was
He
fun to
was
watch, actually. Yeah.
he was fun to watch. Big, huge smile with the Dave Letterman gap in there.
And
Yeah,
big freaking arms, hey? Like he was a
yeah.
big guy he was stacked for a little guy.
5'8" and 4 feet wide.
If that,
And
yeah. If
wheels.
5'8", yeah.
Yeah,
He was
just a
great.
cannonball.
Yeah, there you go. Anyways, Dave, we got college football playoff happening Friday night. You got Alabama, Cincinnati, then you got Georgia, and your Michigan Wolverines. What do you got in the two games? Are they going to be close blowouts? What do you think is going to happen in the two games?
Oh, I'm praying for Cincinnati to make it. You know what? I'm praying for Cincinnati to make this close more than
Yeah.
I'm praying for Michigan to win. Because I think this has a chance to be like a 52-3 game. Alabama against Cincinnati.
Yeah,
It's
it could get.
a-
I think Cincinnati has to keep it tight early, or it could be a runaway quick.
yes, yeah. And I'm rooting for Cincinnati. I think Alabama's a 14-point favorite right now, and I would put, if I was a gambling man, I would put money on Alabama all day. I simply can't see Cincinnati hanging with Alabama.
I can't either. No, I
If
can't either.
Cincinnati can make some special plays, pull all the tricks out of the book, just be like high on life and like if Cincinnati thinks they're going to be happy to be there, they're gone. They're gone.
Maybe we'll put a few bucks down on Bodog or something tonight. We'll look at some bowl games in the coming days. We'll do that on the air tonight. But
And
the
then
other game,
Michigan,
I think Michigan's going to beat Georgia. I really do.
Michigan, Georgia are two teams that
Line up nice head to head. I think
exactly.
Michigan. I think it's gonna be a good football game. I really do.
They both take pride in their defensive approach to the game. Michigan, I think, has a couple different better playmakers, and we'll see what happens. Like I'm really rooting for Michigan. Like that's no lie, and we'll see what happens there.
I don't think I've ever cheered for a Big Ten team in my life when it comes to college football, college sports, nonetheless. But I am really cheering for Michigan on Friday night. I'm sick of the SEC rah shish boom bah crap. Enough with the SEC. It's a great conference. They get a lot more credit than I think that they deserve, and I really want to see Michigan win that game on Friday night.
Go blue.
Go blue. Anyways, 1420 podcast, 4 Beer Sports Talk, and a whole lot more. Go Big Ten. Here we go. 1420 Sports Podcast, 4 Beer Sports Talk, and a whole lot more. Dave, when I started this podcast 16 months ago, whatever it's been, I was kind of all sitting around the bar room with you and the guys like we used to 20 some years ago, and BSing about sports and topics that would get to whether I was right or wrong or indifferent, just get topics that would get guys riled up a little bit. Maybe I'd say the odd thing that I knew wasn't true, but I'd like to hear the responses from guys just to get their feelings on thing. And throughout the months that we've been doing this, or the year and a half or whatever it's been, we kind of do that to each other a little bit, where we kind of get each other riled up a little bit and just to hear the response. And the one that can always get a good barroom conversation going, wasn't for COVID times, we do it a lot more, but it's the Hall of Fame discussion. And it's not a Pete Rose thing, but we'll get to that one day. Maybe we'll get somebody else on to be the mediator between the two of us, or have a third view on that. But Hall of Fame discussions are an easy discussion when guys have had a couple of beers in them, and how it all works out, and guys who should be in, shouldn't be in. But Dave, one thing I think we can agree on is that if you are going to be a Hall of Famer, the day you retire, and it's a no doubter, I don't think there should be a waiting period. We had the tragedy with Kobe Bryant. Oh, Jesus, how many months ago was that now? 18 months ago before we was, or no, it's been 2 years now, almost 20, 22 months ago. When a guy's a guaranteed Hall of Famer, should they not get put in like right now, just in case there is a tragedy that does happen? The guy doesn't get his day in the sun.
No, no, you still gotta wait. I think you still gotta wait because what if he come back? I think Mario Lemieux actually played a couple games in the NHL as a Hall of Famer because of his cancer and all that kind of
Something
stuff.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because they made him an automatic. Gretzky was an automatic. Like I'm not gonna cry on that. Don't worry about that. But I think the waiting period is good. Let a person's career soak in. And if anything comes to light for whatever reason, then I'm okay with that. I'm okay with keeping guys out for different reasons aside uh from their on-field numbers. Like I'll just put it out like from what you produce on the field isn't why you should be in the Hall of Fame. It's like how you achieve those numbers
You fell
and
right into my trap, my friend. Keep going.
and then like the numbers that you produce on field, like how did you produce those numbers? The fact that you might not be a nice person off the field, uh, you know, there's that one fella that said in the old days, like any club that wants me a member, I don't know if I want to be a member of that club, right? Like so, I think the Hall of Fame. Uh, I think the Hall of Fame to the generations younger than us is going to be so watered down. It's because like the TikTok and Twitter generation, if you can't vote for it online, and if you can't, if it like, what have they done for me lately? And if you have to make them wait 5 years, I think the Hall of Fame is really becoming not the thing to the next generation as it is to us.
Okay, what it's I disagree with you. I think that when guys retire, like a Kobe Bryant, when he was done, he was going to Hall of Fame. Um, just put him in just in case something happens. There are some guys that you need to, digest and maybe do some research on. But you know what? The guys who get to vote on this, they've been doing research on these guys for a lot of years. So there's why hold the guy back who's an automatic guaranteed? I don't understand. But number two, Dave, should a person's post-career antics, whether it be a Kurt Schilling with his comments, Omar Vizquel got in a situation post-career with domestic abuse. Should a guy's post-career off the field activities hinder what he did on the field?
See, that's I guess just the enlightened nature that we live in right now. Like, so what are we putting people in the Hall of Fame just for their accomplishments between the lines? And
I'm talking,
that's it.
but I'm talking after their career is done.
No,
Okay,
no, but I know, like I know, and I understand that.
let's just okay. I'll spread this wide open. Let's just say, for whatever reason, because Mariano Rivera, number 42, the greatest fucking reliever of all time, he's a trumper. And if you listeners from the United States, if you're a trumper, that you have all the power to you. Let's just say, for the sake of podcast conversation, that Mariano decided to join the insurrection on January 6th. Let's just hear me out. Let's just say that happened. And Mariano's voting time was now. Do you keep Mariano out?
I'm going to give you a different example.
Does that, you know what I'm getting
like,
at?
No, like this. Like Kobe Bryant is an alleged rapist.
Absolutely. During his career.
Yeah. While he was playing,
Yeah.
he allegedly raped somebody. He was never convicted. And
There's
there
a story
was
in Colorado and everything else. Yeah.
and blah blah blah, but there was settlement paid and charges were dropped.
Yeah.
So that's real. Like we know he is an alleged rapist, but everybody thinks he's one of the greatest players ever.
Well, he did. There was a transformation of everything else, and I'm not saying
I
it's
don't
the
agree
right
with
thing.
that.
I'm
Like,
not. I don't agree. I think the guy's a dirtbag. What he did was probably it was shitty. Alleged things don't just go away because you have a few bucks can make them go away. It still happened. I shouldn't say it happened because there's three sides to every story, right?
it was alleged. It came to court and it went away because of the settlement.
Yeah,
That's my
something happened. That's
retort.
actually what happened. Uh, should he be kept out of the Hall of Fame because of that? Maybe from what we're getting at, because it happened during his career.
Yes.
So we can be agreeing. If you do something shitty as a human being, you that because you're a human being, like a Hall of Fame guy should be an upstanding person, good for the community, and a great player that is not great, an all-time player. But you also have to be a good person to be in the Hall of Fame. That's my opinion.
You have
During
to,
during your career,
yes.
if you turn into a shitty person after your career because you read something, because we've seen it, Dave, in the last 18, 19 months, however long this has been, we've seen some pretty decent people turn into some pretty shitty people in the last 18, 19 months because of what's been going on.
Exactly. Like, because you never really know.
Should a player or a person be exempt for becoming a shitty person and be not allowed in the Hall of Fame because of something that they read and something twists their mind? Because we've both seen it where somebody, like, we've all read articles, like I've read an article and you've read an article, and that person all of a sudden turns into this fucking different, like, what the fuck? You know
Well,
what I'm getting at? Like,
oh no, I totally get you, and I'm gonna say
so
hockey.
if the guy hit 330 through his career, and all of a sudden he read an article that changed his mindset, does that make him not a Hall of Famer?
I'm gonna ask you a question right now.
All right, this ought to be good.
Who's a better hockey player? Kevin Lowe or Theoren Fleury?
Theoren Fleury, 100%.
And Theoren Fleury has gone right off the deep end, and you know it too.
Oh
on
yeah.
his social media, like he is.
I block Twitter, blah blah.
I don't.
There's
think
people
Kevin,
who follow.
I,
There's people who follow Fleury that I don't because they retweet and I don't want to hear it. I'm good.
I have no interest in Kevin Lowe being in the Hall of Fame, and we talked about that.
Yeah.
He set the bar pretty low. Theoren Fleury is clearly a better contributor to his team throughout his career than Kevin Lowe ever was.
Yeah.
But Theoren Fleury is a piece of shit that can't get along.
And the thing with Fleury knows, because he's still suspended by the NHL.
I don't think he does though.
He knows he's not getting the Hall of Fame because of his shenanigans that happened with drug addiction and everything else and blah blah blah. So now he's taken to another level, and now he's blaming everybody else for what's going on.
I think you're seeing Kevin. I don't think Theoren Fleury is that smart.
Yeah. I don't know. It's really unfortunate what happened to the guy. I mean, he's gone off the deep end completely. And that's what I'm getting at. Like, if Fleury wasn't a complete buffoon, and then all of a sudden he started spouting up about all the stuff that's happened in the last 19 months in the world, do you keep him out of the Hall of Fame because of what happened? Because he's out because of what happened during his career, and he never went through the testing and everything else and the stuff. But his numbers are there. But now that he's being a complete buffoon, does that keep him out? For sure, probably.
Oh, for sure. Like, if Theoren Fleury had Craig Conroy's personality, he'd be in the Hall of Fame.
But now they're like, dude, you gotta shut your fucking
just stop.
Yeah. Honestly, I haven't. Like I said, I blocked him, not blocked. I unfollowed him, and then people that retweet things about Twitter, I mute them because I'm just like, I don't need to hear it. I don't need to hear it.
If anyone does a retweet of Theoren Fleury on my timeline with not being making fun of it, automatic block.
Yeah, I'll mute them and everything else. I'll put them in the 1420 Twitter jail. Like, it's not that we're the most level-headed people either, but I think we're quite logical when it comes to a lot of things. And Fleury just isn't. Like, it's astonishing. But yeah, like I think that when guys, like, if something changed in your head from your playing career, but who you are is who you are. But I think in the last, like I said, in the last 19, 20 months, Dave, people's views, things have changed. Something they read something that just goes from one side to the other, and it's happened throughout like my professional and personal life, and on Twitter and everything else. And since we've been doing this podcast, things have changed, man. Like it's just something's just changed in the world that people just like, what the fuck? And people probably think the same thing that about how we see things too about us. So it's just different.
Well, so now I have a question now as professional athletes in their different sports go about their profession right now. Is the Hall of Fame something that they're going to attain to right now, or they don't really give a fuck? They just want to get paid? Because, you know, like, let's be honest, if you're going to toil for the Bucks or the Rays or the Pirates, you probably you can have just as good a career as someone that's playing for the Dodgers or Yankees or even the Jays, and get a lot of eyeballs on you. Like, so what do you want to do? Do you want to just get paid? Like Mike Trout, like we're all agreed that he's probably going to be a Hall of Famer because he's Trout. Like he's played 3 playoff games. They got swept. Like,
I think Trout's got to do something pretty fucking special right in the next 5 years to be a guaranteer.
Well,
he's really, really, really good. But what's he done, man?
He's 28. He's won what, 3 MVPs?
Like I guess that'll get you in, right? That'll get you in. Like is he? Okay, let's compare. Okay, if Lincecum would have okay, it's hypothetical once again. Podcasts are great for this. If Lincecum would have won one more Cy Young, he's the exact same player, different positions, but he's the exact same guy as Mike Trout is now.
Well, without a doubt, but
he didn't. But
he did, right? And Trout's now already played 3 more years than Lincecum. They probably Lincecum was what, 3 years before Trout.
But Lincecum has World Series rings.
Not because of him though.
He helped. He didn't hurt the team.
Yeah, exactly. But like you're not hurting. He wasn't he wasn't Baumgartner. Baumgartner won those rings.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, if Lincecum would have got that one more, because he got 2 Cy Youngs, I think you put Lincecum in if he gets that 3rd one. He's the same player as Mike Trout.
I fucking love the freak.
At this point,
I love the freak. Don't
Does that
get
make
me
sense?
wrong,
Like if he gets that 3rd Cy Young, he's the exact same player at this point that Mike Trout is.
Maybe we got to think
with
about
championships.
The intensity of the career. Like just burn hot and die fast, right?
Yeah.
Like
better to burn out than fade away, right?
You bet.
There you go. Anyways, the Hall of Fame discussion, Dave. It's an easy one to. Well, maybe in the new year we can sit around and do this face to face with some other guys, because Hall of Fame discussions.
So if Jacob DeGrom never wins another game, so whatever reason he can't come back, who's better, DeGrom or Lincecum?
Lincecum.
They're the exact same career right now.
Same guy, yeah, same guy.
And we don't know if
Lincecum has those. Lincecum has some shiny rings that DeGrom doesn't.
Yeah, but that wasn't because of Lincecum though. That's what he got rings when he wasn't winning Cy Youngs.
Who's better, Theoren Fleury or Tim Lincecum?
Tim Lincecum. Fuck Theoren Fleury. That yeah.
I don't care thoughts about Theoren Fleury are the same. Actually, there's a funny picture at my house here, Dave. I don't know if you've seen it when you leave the door. There's my dad back in the 1940s or 50s, drinking a beer in the back of a truck, and one of the guys he's with, Theoren Fleury's dad.
Oh yeah, did he have phone books tapped to his shins or something?
I know it's a funny little picture. Next time you're over, you take a look at that. Anyways, 1420 Sports Podcast, 4 Beer Sports, talking a whole lot more. The Hall of Fame discussion is an easy one to get fired up about. It's nonstop. It's really quite simple. When you next time you're around a bar with your buddies, people who listen, give it a shot, because it's quite easy to get guys fired up about nothing.
And it's funny because the Hall of Fame these days has become more a perception than the actual numbers, right? And is it the Hall of Fame or Hall of Very Good? Because Kevin Lowe made the NHL Hall of Fame the Hall of Very Good.
It's become the Hall of Very Good for across the board.
Fuck, just another reason to hate on Kevin Lowe. Just when I wanted to make up and get back with my ex. They put that motherfucker back in the Hall of Fame. They
Back in
put
the
him in the
hall or in the Hall of
Fame.
Fame.
Back. Jesus
There you go.
Christ. Thanks, Daryl Katz.
1420 Sports Podcast, 4 Beer Sports Talk, and a whole lot more. We'll be back to you in a second. Brought it up during the opening, Dave. The Christmas time, it's in Canada. It's the World Junior Tournament. We talked about this time last year. We had Brad and Luke on. We were doing this goofy stuff, but anyways, we talked about the World Juniors. It's great. It's the kickoff to the between Christmas and New Year's time. It's always a very relaxing time for me. I'm usually off work, which is nice. Just things are going on. You can watch a game here and there, and you get to learn about a lot of kids that are playing for Team Canada and everything else. But Dave, the last few years, I wouldn't say I got I don't want to say a sour taste in my mouth for the World Junior, but I don't have the same affection for it that I did 20 years ago. I just think that there's some teams some countries, I guess they're teams and countries that get into the tournament because they have a 10-team tournament. It's a made for TV thing. TSN bought the rights no matter what country this thing is in, and they televise all the games, everything else. And I just find that there's too many non-competitive games in the World Junior now. A lot of games that don't matter, and it kind of waters it down for me. Back when I was growing up, Dave, I remember watching, because it used to be the round robin. There would be eight teams. They would play 7 games. There'd be a winner at the end of it. With whoever had the most wins after the round robin would win the gold medal. And there were some games at the end of it that would sometimes be not even, that wouldn't even matter to the outcome of the medal winners. Dave, I find that now you get some teams that get relegated or come up from the relegation round that they're the 10th seed, and Canada plays let's say Austria. We'll go over their upcoming games soon here, but Canada's going to beat Austria by 11 goals in a couple of days, and I just find that the World Junior is a bit watered down compared to what it was. Get off my lawn, old man. But like how it was 20 years ago.
No, you're just remembering. You have selective memory right now, because those games that you're talking about right now would happen in any kind of environment. The sad fact about hockey is that there's only 4 superpower teams, and there's 4 mid-level teams, like 3 mid-level teams, and then there's everybody else.
Yeah.
Like there's no international sport that has such a small degree of excellence. In hockey, it's Canada, it's the States, it's Russian, it's Sweden, and then Finland, right? Like, so it's those 4. It's the big 4, and then you have Finland. Germany's an upcomer. Austria's an upcomer. Finland's like an A-.
The Swiss always does pretty good. They do pretty okay.
Competitive, right?
Yeah, they're pretty okay.
And then you have everybody else, and that's just hockey. That's any international competition, like in the Olympics, in anything. It's just like it's USA, Canada, Russia, Sweden are the top 4 all the time. All the time. You just pencil it in. I don't care who they send.
So that's
what
that's why I think that happened at 18, because you get and I was shocked the other day. I thought there was a new country or something happened I didn't see on CNN, but they're calling the Czech Republic, which used to be Czechoslovakia when we were kids, Dave. They called them Czechia. I was like, what the fuck? Did I miss something on CNN here? Like, what's going on here? I was like, well, Jesus, no, it's just the Czech Republic, but they want to be called Czechia for some reason now, and I don't know why, but they do. It's because just
they asked, yeah.
They asked me, all right, go call me Bill.
Okay, we'll call.
Hi, Bill.
Yeah,
whatever.
And so then like the Slovaks, right?
So the Slovaks can be competitive. So I think you have those 8 teams year after year. You might get a better tournament, and because I think that you get some dud games. I also think that it would be great for TV and great for the host countries when it's not in Canada, which is always seems to be in Canada. And I think that's got to slow down a little bit too. Is that it's always in Canada, the COVID and everything else. But if they could set it up where it was Canada, because Canada is the dominant country in this tournament every year. Yes, they may not win every year, but it's a team that everyone wants to beat. If they could set up a Canada-US New Year's Eve game, or a Canada-Sweden US New Year's Eve, or Canada-Russia New Year's Eve, whether it's 8 in the morning or 8 at night. I think that might be better for the tournament, because the tournament's struggling a little bit lately. Even when they're in other countries, even in Canada, viewership is down.
Yeah, because I think because there's just more sports available for everybody all the time now. We're not just watching this on TSN. It's not the only game in town. This year's a little bit different, but like with Christmas Day and Boxing Day on a Saturday, Sunday. So the NFL decided to put games on Christmas Day and then on Boxing Day. Like I watch that all the time. I did tune into the game last night. Canada.
That Power Kid is good. Woo.
Ooh,
Buffalo's got a stud there. He's a big kid.
Yeah, you know, there was things to watch in that game. The first period was absolutely bonkers.
Goalies were afraid of vulcanized rubber. There's no doubt about that in the first period. Yeah.
And then
Remind me of a young Brent Redlinski out there. Yeah.
It turned into a fairly average game after the second, and like I did watch it, and I watched the Americans beat the other Slovak team.
I think that's Slovakia, yeah, or Czechia. I can't remember, but it's
whatever, one of the two. But like, you know, the States, like hockey's these kids right now, they're playing a different game than I remember playing. Right? There's I don't know how to describe it. I don't know if it's my rooting interests are clear. I want Canada to win. I want them to beat every game, but the game is becoming a little bit more fancy.
That's one way of putting it. I don't want to say chicken shit, but it's a little more chicken shit. Like as my dad used to say, chicken shit. But it's not as gritty as it was back. Let's go 30 years ago when Lindros was playing in the World Juniors, and you go to that, even that 90, what was it, 95 team. No, what was it year in Red Deer, the 95 team? You had the first lockout year with those guys, 94, and then you go to the 2004 lockout team where they were running guys over the double D on and everything else, and you had Jeff Carter and Mike Richards.
There's a lot less sandpaper in the game right now.
There's a lot less sandpaper in the game, and a lot more kids than Hayden and Jaden and Gaden and whatever the fuck their names are. It's a lot different than it was 10 years ago, let alone 30 years ago. When this, you're not going to see a Piastani punch out anytime soon.
So here's the thing we got to think about as hockey fans right now. Myself, I appreciate a good hit. I appreciate hard-nosed hockey. I appreciate the fact that the NFL has tried to make the game better for their skilled players. But now we're at this point right now where that I think the game of hockey has to realize that grit and hitting and fighting is a part of their brand. And we can't make every single fucking rule change.
And every kid can't be fucking Sidney Crosby.
Right.
And that's what it is now. Like,
you know what? Even Sidney Crosby is
okay.
a solid motherfucker.
Every kid can't be that Zegras kid who's flipping the puck over the fucking net.
Yeah, or Nicholas Backstrom, like with the hammer fist on his bad back.
You still, like, I'm still the one buying the tickets and paying for T-shirts and this and that and everything else, right?
Right.
I think you can't forget where you came from. And hockey's it is different. I'm not saying that you need to go back to the Sutter days of the Leopards Broncos back in 1985. But there's got to be a happy medium somewhere.
There has to be room for a Lucic, like not a Lucic per se.
Well, there it is, Dave. You know what? There does, because you know what? Because there's always going to be one meathead on some team who's going to take a bit of a advantage against your stud guy. And if all we're seeing is shinny hockey out there, I don't need to go watch the fucking ice capades.
Exactly. You know what? And if I have a chance as a 220-pound player to fucking wax that 175-pound skill player on the boards, I'm gonna lay a clean hit. and I am gonna pace him to
And
the
I got
fucking
no
wall.
problem with clean
I got
hits and everything
zero
else.
problem with that. Like a
And
clean
and
hit.
there's an inherent problem actually in the National Hockey League right now, Dave. And I'm glad you brought that up. We've never brought it up on the show before. That every time there is a clean hit and someone does get laid out, there's a fucking fight. Why? Why? Keep
Well,
your head up, like we were told when you're fucking in tiny mite hockey. Keep your head up, you're gonna get hit. All right, sorry.
they've taken around away those Scott Stevens hits. They
Like the
have,
player safety is
and I
the
understand.
utmost important. I get it.
But they're letting a lot of shit go around, like those chicken shit hits behind the back on the ice. Sorry, on the boards. They've let a couple of those go lately. And like so, like if I outweigh you by 40 pounds and I can put you in the boards, that's not my fucking
It's not my fault. It's not my fault you had your head down. It's not my fault you were trying to do something you shouldn't have been doing in the postage stamp. There's a hockey arena. It's not my fault.
I weighed 280 pounds and I have a blindside shot at your quarterback that weighs 10 pounds less than me. I am going to hit him as hard as I motherfucking can because it's within the rules of the game. And I think the NHL is. I don't like the way the rules.
They're
are
losing.
being
They're
enforced.
losing the fans and they're losing fans, Dave, my age and older for sure. And they're
Without a
losing
doubt.
fans. They're losing fans, probably 35 and older.
And
that-
you know, is it like
that
then
are
what's
just like,
important?
hey.
Is it just for the YouTube hits? Look at this goal. Like it's becoming NBA.
That's
like
part of it.
The highlights.
That's part of it.
I think it might be.
I mean, it's a huge part of it.
It bothers me a little bit because the grit, the grind. The Philadelphia Flyers back in the 72s. That kind of crap. That's no.
Yeah, like I said, we don't need that. We don't need that Lethbridge Bronco shit from the 80s. We don't like the 85. We don't need that.
Exactly.
But there needs to be a happy medium between the two, I think, still. And don't get me wrong. Like during the week, I'm gonna watch the World Juniors. I'll watch Team Canada, I'll put the jersey on, have some beers. When they win, I'll cheer. If they lose, and we'll have nicknames for all these guys, and we'll get to know these kids as it goes on. It just seems to me that this tournament has lost its luster in the last 5-6 years. I'm not exactly sure why.
I 100% agree. I don't know why either. I tuned into the game last night, and then, like I said, once the third period started, I tuned out. It wasn't
because it used to be an event, Dave, 20 years ago. Like you can't, like not even 2010. It was an event. You watch the everybody knows where they were. It was late in the tournament. The Eberle goal, the Taves thing, the Saskatoon goal in 1991. People remember that stuff. That's a long time ago. 1991. People remember the Saskatoon tournament. And now it seems like, well, you watching the game, yeah. Used to be, it's just different. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it.
When you and I didn't used to have a normal thing, that would be one of our things.
Yeah,
would be getting together on the 26th at a bar to watch
the game. It's the first one, and then it's a lot of times it's the first time. It's the first time you've heard of these kids. A lot of times, Dave. Okay, well here it is.
And well, just let me say, and it's like you said, this before I had a child. I was married. And we were always friends, but we didn't see each other because we were in different places. But you would come home, when I say home, to the fort or Lethbridge, and that would be that would be a point of meeting where you, myself, and Niner and Luke and Brad and whatever, watching the game at this place.
And no one's saying, and no wives saying we can't. We just don't.
Exactly.
The tournament's not that interesting anymore, and I don't know what it is.
And neither do I. I don't know if it's because of our age or the fact that a lot of us have kids now, or no one's initiating it.
Do you actually think because this is something that's kind of, we'll get off this quickly here. Do you think because there's so much information, we don't get the information? Because when I wanted to know about the World Junior team, there was the hockey news. There was. I would watch TSN more about it. Now, because it's at my fingertips, I don't search for it. Like if it comes across because I'm looking at so much other stuff now.
You're not getting fed the hype.
I'm not looking for it myself, so I'm not getting it because there's so many other things going on. Because there's so much information about everything else, I'm not seeing about this anymore. Does that make sense?
Well, no, I hear what you're saying, and I say this all the time too. Like now in my age right now, I am because I have access to anything I want access to. When I have my time to watch sports, these are the sports I'm gonna watch.
Yeah.
And World Junior, and you know what? Like right now, at the Christmas season, my focus is a little bit more on my family, and then, so I'm not making time to everybody else isn't.
Yeah, and
pulling
your
away
boy
from
doesn't
the.
play hockey, so I get it. So it's different, but it's just
Yeah,
it's just
and
different. It's
it
just
is
different.
it is just different. I don't have a reason, and I don't know what TSN, because that's also a thing too. TSN just like does numbers, right? And
Yeah.
I imagine it does well, especially with NHL
On
on
hiatus.
hiatus right now.
When they coming back? Never. Anyways,
No, they're gonna come back because it's
January
Omicron.
2nd, January, they're gonna have
Yeah,
the outdoor classic or whatever it is
they're
on the
gonna
first,
do
and
it.
then go from there.
Yeah.
But anyways, Dave, no, I'll like I said, I'll watch. I'll pick up on some players and get nicknames for guys, and you get impressed with players here and there, and it'll pick up. It just seems over the years it's just kind of lost a bit of its luster. I just, and that's just that. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm oversimplifying things, but that's just how I am.
I agree, and I don't know the reason
Yeah.
either. I used to really geek on it in my 20s and stuff. Like I've loved this tournament for 30 years, but
Yeah.
I don't love it as much anymore.
Yeah, maybe this week we'll hook up for a beer and watch a game together. Anyways, 1420 Sports Podcast, 4 Beer with Sports, talking a whole lot more. Go Canada, go! Simple, easy way to end a podcast, Dave. We do it probably every couple of weeks, but something that I find quite easy. I come up with two guys, sports related, sometimes not entertainment related to music or actors or whatever, and we just do who is better. Most times they're not connected to what sport or what to industry, but it's quite easy and it's quite entertaining. But I got 10 or so here. We get through them all. Who knows? Let's start. Goodfellas was on this weekend. Tuned in a little bit. Always, whenever Goodfellas on, I watch it. It's one of those movies that I just love. I don't know why it caught on to it piqued my interest so much, but I loved it since the first time I saw it on a bus playing hockey in Bonneville. But I think Goodfellas is a great movie. What's your thoughts on Goodfellas, Dave?
Like it, don't love it. I'm a Godfather guy.
I've never seen Godfather.
That's
and it was on today, and I was going to tune in, but I just didn't.
I was gonna do it, and I am like.
I got 6 more days off, so I probably will tune into it. But yeah,
go 1, 2, 3, and then like three's a throwaway. 1, 2 back to back is awesome. That's a wicked way to spend 6 hours.
I got a back-to-back Goodfellas guys. Let's start with Robert De Niro or Rob Gronkowski. Who is better?
De Niro. De Niro has given me so much pleasure throughout his acting career.
He's fairly one-dimensional, though, eh?
He's not one.
Like kind of like Gronkowski, I guess, if you want to put it that way. But
yeah, exactly. But no, that's not
same
true.
guy, different businesses.
If you want it, like, because he can do comedy, like all the Fockers, which I don't actually agree with. I don't dig on that. The whole
never saw it. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about. He did 3 movies with them. His comedic awesome thing was one, I think it was called Midnight Run. It was him and oh god, I'm looking at the guy, I can't remember his name. Hilarious movie. Charles Grodin. It was Robert De Niro and Charles Grodin in Midnight Run.
Yeah.
That movie was so fucking funny, and it was really good. But De Niro, with his work in Raging Bull, with his work in Taxi Driver, with his work in
Taxi Driver was a good show.
Godfather
I like that.
2.
Taxi Driver, I just saw that not recently, 10 months ago. Me and the producer sat down and watched that one. He said it's different. It's different. A good movie. It was just different. Yeah.
It has to be different to be good, I think, because otherwise it's easy. So I'll say De Niro before
Robert De Niro over Gronkowski. Okay, another guy from the Goodfellas cast, Ray Liotta or Ray Bork.
Ray Bork. Ray Liotta. Good actor, not a Hall of Famer. Ray Bork, Hall of Famer all the way, and I'll just leave it at
Ray
that.
Liotta kind of fell in a warm pool of butter with his role in Goodfellas. Like he played it well, but they probably could have inserted person here.
Right. Like he
Does
just
that make
happened to
sense?
be the guy. Yeah, without a doubt. He did a good job and he did his role
Yeah,
and he
filled the
acted that
role,
role.
but they could have
He
put
he did it but like
anyone, not
Karen,
anyone, but yeah,
Karen.
yeah, yeah. Uh, Over the Christmas holidays, Dave, they didn't have it so much this year as in years past. The Stevie Wonder commercial with on the Apple, whatever it was, and this kind of got me thinking that Stevie Wonder isn't as blind as people think he is. But anyways, that's our story for another day. But Stevie Wonder, the Motown legend, or the other Stevie Wonder from Motown, the Detroit Red Wings, Steve Eiserman or Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder, the
Is he
real Stevie
blind?
Wonder. Not Stevie Y. For sure he is. And like it bothers people say this. Like it's
Funny.
obvious. Like, you know, and I think a Hall of Fame career in music is harder than a Hall of Fame career in hockey. Steve Eiserman, I hold in such high regard, but I didn't care who you were going to say. It was going to be Stevie Wonder. I love Stevie Wonder. I love his music. I love the funk. I love the shit that that guy does, and I like rediscovering his music all the time.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't like.
I'm probably going to go with Stevie Wonder. Eisman, great. He also fell himself in. He's a great player, but he fell himself a warm pool of butter when he had some pretty bad teams early in his career. Then when Bowman came in and he readjusted his career to win some Stanley Cups there in Titletown, or they called it there. Great player, Hall of Fame player, no doubt about it. But I'm going to agree with you on Stevie Wonder there.
And actually, too, Eiserman is totally making a resume for
Hall of
a
Fame
G,
career as a general manager. Yeah.
yeah, without a doubt, because that Tampa Bay team is his,
And they're still really good. And Detroit's gonna make some waves with the guys they
and
got
they're
coming up
coming
now.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, like
yeah,
time will tell, but like Detroit's gonna be a four. Like I have no doubt Detroit is gonna be a force in 4 years.
yeah. He's been done very well. Let's get back to the World Juniors here a little bit. Two teams that two moments, two guys that did a lot. One guy's career has gone one way. Another guy's had a good career now. He's in Seattle now with the Kraken. What a fucking terrible name. But anyways, but let's talk about their World Junior times. World Junior Jonathan Taves or World Junior Jordan Eberle. Who is better?
Ooh,
Ooh, good one, hey?
that is because there's never been more clutch moments. Um,
Ooh, that's a spicy meatball.
that is a spicy meatball. Do you know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say that the way that Everly was, he happened to be the guy in the spot, and he had incredible poise and scored the goal.
Yeah.
Jonathan
2 years in a row.
Taves.
Because he got the one. He got the one against in the semifinals the year after against the Americans, I believe, to tie it up or
Yeah,
something. Yeah. But 2 years in a row, yeah.
but he happened to be on the ice.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taves said, "Put me on the ice."
Yeah.
I'm gonna and I think he scored 4 penalty shot goals
Something like that against Al Montoyo, I think it was for the Americans
and
there.
scored every fucking time.
I wonder if
He said,
I
"Put
wonder
me
if
on the
Taves.
ice."
I agree with you, Dave. I think Taves is the guy for that question for who is better for the World Junior Taves versus Eberle thing. I wonder if Taves knew the rules. Or if he was like, "What do you mean I'm up again? I just shot. I'm done." No, you're up again.
Nah,
You wonder if he knew the
nah,
rules at that point.
Taves ain't no dummy. Everly was a goal of the moment, and then next year he did it again.
Yeah.
But the moment didn't choose him. Taves chose the moment.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Oh,
What
it
I'm
was
saying.
that,
No, fuck it. I'll
that
score on
shooter
this
was
guy.
phenomenal. I'll do it again. I'll do it again. Whatever. Can I
I'll
go again?
score
Yeah,
on.
right on.
I'll score on this fool all day.
Oh, what
Just
a
keep me
heart!
going.
Like, to be the goalie. Al Montoya was a Michigan guy.
And,
That would
and
have
a
been like,
different move every time, right?
it'd been like, oh, I stink, man. There was a guy, Dave, when I played junior, played the Calgary Canucks. I can't remember his name, but we would go to a shootout with these fuckers night in, night out, all season long. Played them like 8 times during the season. And I bet you 5 went to a shootout for whatever. Like, we were terrible. This fucker would score me every time with the exact same move. And I was like, oh, okay, fuck. Because in my head, he fucking the exact same thing again. Every time, same fucking thing. Made me look dumb. And that's why I'm sitting here talking to you on a fourth rate podcast. We're from fifth rate to fourth rate. But
as opposed to us like hanging out in your fucking Vernon retirement podcast.
Yeah, there you go. Who knows? But anyways, it was just funny. Another one here for you, Dave. Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh, who's got a chance to go to a national championship for the first time, or Muppet creator Jim Henson.
I
don't know why I picked that one.
I'm gonna say that Jim Harbaugh. I love that guy. I love him because he was a Michigan man and he played for the
he lost all credit when he went to Stanford. Fuck Stanford.
But he went to Stanford and he made them a winner. Then he went to San Fran and made them a winner. And then he went to Michigan and like the expectations were so high. Like, God, like the only thing that guy ever did in his career was win.
Yeah.
But Jim Henson, do you know what that guy did? He put joy into the world.
Smile on people's faces, man.
Smiles on people's faces. He created, if it wasn't for Jim Henson, we would not know Kermit the Frog. I remember the Muppet Show as a kid.
The Muppet Christmas stuff is great. Oh, just all of it.
As much as I love Michigan football, and I love that Michigan is doing something this year, Jim Henson is my answer.
Jim Henson, I agree with.
For the betterment of the planet, not for the betterment of football.
We got New Year's Eve coming up. I got 2 more. Actually, I'll start this one first. Home this week. It's been nice. We had a little disaster in the kitchen this morning, but whatever. But breakfast and lunch and things and been home. It's great. Kevin Bacon or just bacon?
Whoa. You know what?
I didn't think this much thought, but I think it's a good question. Who is better, Bacon or Kevin Bacon?
I think Kevin Bacon has made a really good stretch, and there is that game, like when you have a game named after you.
6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yes, I'm still gonna say Bacon.
I like bacon. I just like the way bacon makes your house smell.
Just bacon's just good. Like,
Yeah,
you know, you can't
like
overdo it and everything. Yeah. I'd rather say no to bacon than like, where's the rest of the bacon?
Yeah, that's right. Last one.
I've never said this movie needs more Kevin
Bacon.
I've never said that.
No, probably won't.
In fact, on Christmas Day, I stayed at the family brunch. There was 1 piece of bacon left on the tray, and I said, "Is anyone going to take this bacon?"
You saved that piece of bacon for Chris Chelos every time.
Well, you know, I had my appropriate amount. Everybody had their appropriate amount, and then I was starting to, like, you know, do the cleanup. There's 1 more piece of bacon left. Would anyone like it? 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi in my mouth.
We got 1 more. We got 1 more Who is Better New Year's Eve coming up. You're gonna be playing some tunes. Maybe I want to dance with somebody, having some drinks, having some shots. Who knows what you're gonna get up to? Dave, who is better? What is better? Whitney Houston or Pink Whitney?
Whitney Houston all the day. All day. Pink Whitney is just a little barstool thing, and like. And
I made a mistake a couple of years back, David. I just thought you were just supposed to drink it straight or whatever. It's supposed to be mixed. Boy, oh boy, I had 2/3 a bottle of that stuff, and she did a number on me, man.
You got a little shittered, but like, you know,
I got a little shittered.
That's like drinking vodka, whereas Whitney.
That's all it was.
You know what? I wish she had a better
outcome or better outcome. Yeah.
Oh, that woman could sing. It was a joy. Her voice was a joy to
A lot of
listen.
fun. I would have danced with somebody and all those songs. Yeah, they were fun
Oh,
songs. Still are to this day.
oh yeah. And I would when the what's that bodyguard soundtrack and fuck that girl, that woman could sing.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. No, we'll leave it at that. I had a couple more, but we'll just leave it at that. Actually, one more. One more.
Yeah, let's go one more.
Well, I got two.
Well, then go two more.
Okay.
Whatever. I got opinions as the day is long.
We'll get to the we'll go back to a World Junior guy, number 88, Eric Lindros. Won a world championship with Team Canada in 1991 in Saskatoon, or guitar legend Eric Clapton. Who is better?
I'm gonna go with a career that it's harder to have a longer career to have respect for, and I don't think Eric Lindros really gets the respect that he should be. He was big, he was strong, he was so fucking talented.
Better than everybody.
God, that guy was fucking good. But he was so good, but he had
it's not long enough. He got Stevens.
He had a fragile dome. Yeah, he did. So I'm gonna and I hate Eric Clapton. I was never really an Eric
I'm not
Clapton
a fan. I don't dislike him, but I'm not a.
But over time, and I guess in Clapton's an anti-vaxxer too, so now we're going into this Hall of Fame post-career shit. Because of the anti-vaxxer, I'm gonna go Eric Lindros. I can't believe
that's surprising, guys. I thought you would have been like, I can't stand Lindros, because I remember you saying at a show a few months back, I fucking Lindros, fuck him, it's blah 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 blah. It was funny. No, I'm quite. I thought you'd have been Clapton for sure. Like I thought that was a no doubt. You're gonna go Clapton.
And so did I when the question.
But I'm glad you've grown, Dave. In the 16 months we've been doing this, I'm glad you've grown.
I'm able to think out my arguments. Like sometimes they have to be out loud.
That used to be like there was 12 months ago. You were like, "Fuck Charlie Woods" and "fuck him" and "fuck this" and whatever else. So in 12 months, you've grown.
I'm understanding that, like maybe when you think this stuff out loud, that lends for content. This podcast game has made me think my thoughts out loud.
Yeah, there you go.
Good or bad, I don't care. That's up to you guys.
One more. Last one. It's pretty anticlimactic. Tennis legend. I should have started with this one, but I didn't. Tennis legend Billie Jean King or Scrooge star, Christmas movie I watched this week, Bill Murray. Who is better, Billie Jean King or Bill Murray?
Oh, really? Like we could do a whole segment on this, actually. Like Billie Jean King is a pioneer. She's really a special person in the entire history of the world. As far as Title IX, as far as God. No, I can't say. I won't say because it's two different things. And I love Bill Murray and I have his fucking t-shirt.
They're all different things.
And I know, I get it, but
that makes this segment so great.
Billie Jean King was a pioneer, is a pioneer. Bill Murray is just fucking awesome.
He's funny.
I don't think Billie Jean
He's
King
a guy I'd like
awesome.
to spill a beer with.
You know what? And there's things on it.
Dave, that's something. Fuck, I can't remember who. I think it was Jeremy Randall. When he was a drinking man, he quit. Whatever, no qualm, whatever. But fucking awesome used to be a statement. He's fucking awesome. Bill Murray's fucking awesome. Like when the Cubs won the World Series, he was in the stands and he was a kid in a candy store. To me, man, that guy, he's fucking awesome. And I can't say that about Billie Jean King. What she's done is fucking awesome. But I'm going to go Bill Murray over Billie Jean King.
I'm going to say I cannot make a choice on that. Because
pleading the fifth.
No, totally. Like Billie Jean King did so much work for women's rights and women's tennis. Like it's actually amazing. It's We don't have time, but it's mind numbing. Like how she put her career in jeopardy to put the women's tennis movement.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I love Bill Murray. I'd rather hang out with Bill Murray all the
But
time.
Billie Jean King's better.
But Billie Jean King is better.
There we go. Dave, we got to somehow we'll maybe go through everything in the next. I know you won't. I know I won't. Maybe Jim will. But all the who is betters over the last 8-9 months that we've been doing this, and maybe put it on a piece of paper and then put it on Twitter, or Instagram, or Facebook and see what people think. And because I don't know if we repeated very many of them, like who the guys who've been involved in it. But it's a fun segment I quite enjoy because, geez, you get thinking about things that, well, they don't matter. Well, who is better? It's a very simple, fun segment that we do on a bi-weekly basis. That I have a good time doing.
And at the end of the day, nothing matters.
Nothing matters. No one's listening anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But anyways, the 1420 Sports Podcast, 4 River Sports, talking a whole lot more. Take care of each other, but more importantly, take care of yourself to need you around. Keep your stick on the ice. And what else, Dave?
I want to see Jim swing at no high pitches.
There you go. We'll see. Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And I think we'll talk again on Thursday night.
We'll talk before the new year. One more episode in 2021. 2022 is going to kick so much ass. I dare you to listen. I just dare you.
We know. There we go. Talk to you later, folks.